Hey guys, this is Christian here, and yesterday was the big night, the Academy Awards. For last night, I watched the ceremony, or some of it, on Hulu, and they're stream early, so I wasn't able to see the Best Actress and Best Picture speeches live, but I did revisit them, and so yeah, we're gonna go through all the winners and go kind of do a rundown of the ceremony. It's gonna be different. I'm not just gonna go over each winner. I'm gonna go over like what I thought about the ceremony as a whole and go over all the categories as they went. So before we get into this, please like, subscribe, tell me what do you think of the winners as we go along. So yeah, we have to start. We're not going to start with talking about the first award of the evening. We're going to talk about the opening performance. We're going to talk about the medley that was performed by Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, who performed. Grande performed Over the Rainbow. Erivo performed Home from the Wiz. And both of them did Defying Gravity, and it was a phenomenal performance. They both sounded excellent. Yeah, that's pretty much all I'd say. They were amazing. One of the better Oscar openings, I would say. Probably the best performance of the night, I would say. We didn't have many of those because they cut all the original song performances. I mean, this year it was probably a good call. I'd rather see this than Amelia Perez songs. So yeah. Then after that performance, we got a little substance gag from Conan O'Brien, our host for the evening. And then he decided to give his opening monologue, which was hilarious. Conan killed it as the host. The monologue was great. He poked fun at Amelia Perez. Adam Sandler showed up at one point and said Chalamet. It was amazing. I wouldn't mind if they brought Conan back next year, but we're super far away from next year, so we'll see. I mean, the Golden Globes already decided that they're gonna be bringing back Nikki Glaser right after she hosted, so maybe the Oscars could do the same for Conan. Yeah, so he gave an excellent monologue, way better than Jimmy Kimmel, but yeah. Now we have to talk about all the winners. So our very first category that we have to go over is Best Supporting Actor, the first award of the evening, which was presented by Robert Downey Jr. And we're gonna go over this in a different way. I'm not just gonna say what one. I'm gonna do some build up, like if you're watching the Oscar ceremony. So the nominees for Best Supporting Actor were Yura Borisov in Anora, Kieran Culkin in A Real Pain, Edward Norton in A Complete Unknown, Guy Pearce in The Brutalist, and Jeremy Strong in The Apprentice. So going into the night, I thought this was pretty obviously going to be Kieran Culkin. I mean, he completely swept the season. And the Oscar went to Kieran Culkin in A Real Pain. Predictable, pretty obvious win. I haven't seen the movie, so I can't say if he's deserving or not. But I heard he has an amazing performance. I've seen some people trying to turn on him, saying "Oh, he's just playing himself," stuff like that. But if he deserves it, he deserves it. And he gave a great speech about how he wants to have more kids. That was amazing. So yeah, supporting actor was Kieran Culkin. Our next two, the animated categories, presented by Andrew Garfield and Goldie Hawn. So Best Animated Feature was first. Let me pull up the nominees real quick. So the nominees for Best Animated Feature were Flow, Inside Out 2, Memoir of a Snail, Wallace and Gromit: Vengeance Most Foul, and The Wild Robot. So I had predicted The Wild Robot. That had a sound nomination. That had won most of the awards. However, I had the feeling it was going to be Flow. Flow won the Golden Globe. It lost BAFTA, and Wild Robot had the sound nomination. The only other movie to be nominated for animated feature and lose with a sound nomination was Monsters, Inc. way back during the early ceremony. But I had a feeling it was going to be Flow. But I decided to stick with the Wild Robot. And the Oscar went to Flow. I think this is just proof that the way that they vote on the animated feature category is completely different now. They don't just go for the most popular Disney movie or the most popular kids. They don't just vote for what their kids like. They're actually taking their time to vote for stuff that they wouldn't vote for in previous years. Because we've had back-to-back international winners in this category. This is also a big win for Latvia, the first Oscar for Latvia. I think it is actually the first movie with zero dialogue to win this category as well. Actually, I know WALL-E won, but WALL-E has human characters that speak. Yeah, Flow winning from what I've seen, it has like such a unique art style. I can't be too upset with the win. Still need to watch it, obviously, but like I can't be too upset. I mean, I do feel a little bit bad for Chris Sanders. This was his 4th nomination for The Wild Robot, and he's Oscarless still. But if Flo really deserved it, I can't really complain too much. So yeah, Flo won animated feature. We're gonna get more into this race during the retrospective, which actually moved up 2 days to Wednesday. So yeah, now our next category was animated short. This category was all the short categories were interesting, but we're gonna talk about animated short. Also presented by Andrew Garfield and Goldie Hawn. All right, so our nominees for best animated short film were Beautiful Men, In the Shadow of the Cypress, Magic Candies, Wander to Wonder, and Yuck. I was wondering if that said Magic Candles or Magic Candies, but it says Candies. All right, so my prediction was Yuck. I think in my live stream I said Wander to Wonder, but I made the last minute change to Yuck. But was that a good call? And the Oscar went to In the Shadow of the Cypress, which I had at number 4. So I would have been wrong either way. Yeah, the short categories you really just have to take your best guess on because they're wild every year. And this year they were particularly wild, where we had 2 short winners that were like not even in the top 30 on Gold Derby, I'm pretty sure. We'll get to that when we get to the other one. But yeah, In the Shadow of the Cypress was like number 4 for me, and it won. Can't really say whether I agree or disagree because I don't really know much about that film, but yeah, I won. All right, next category is Best Costume Design. Next category is Best Costume Design, which was presented by Lily Rose Depp, Elle Fanning, John Lithgow, Connie Nielsen, and Bowen Yang. One nominee from each of the nominated films. And the nominees were A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Gladiator 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked. So going into the night, we all knew this was going to be Wicked. Obvious. It was one of the biggest locks of the night. And the Oscar went to Wicked. Woo, so predictable. Yeah, Wicked won. Super well deserved. Paul Tazwell became the first black man to win in this category for Best Costume Design. And it's super well deserved. Whether he wins for part 2 or not, we'll have to see. I'm not doing predictions yet. We need the break in between award seasons. Award season can't just be continuous. Maybe I'll do 2026 predictions. Well, I don't even know if I'm going to do them. Maybe I'll like compile them like late March, early April. But anyway, I digress. Wicked won for Best Costume. Super well deserved. Can't wait for part 2. See all the other costumes that are going to be introduced in that film. Yeah, this was an extremely obvious award that I'm glad I went the way it did. All right, now we're on to the screenplay categories, which were presented by Amy Poehler. Our first one was Best Original Screenplay. The nominees were Anora, Sean Baker, The Brutalist, Brady Corbet and Mona Vasvold, Ariel Payne, Jesse Eisenberg, September 5, Moritz Binder, Tim Fellbaum, and Alex David, and The Substance, Coralie Farjat. And going into this, we didn't really know what was going to win. Anora won WGA, Ariel Payne won BAFTA, and The Substance won Critics' Choice. I thought it was kind of obvious what would win because Anora is the frontrunner for Best Picture, but I was still a little bit on edge. However, the Oscar went to Sean Baker for Anora. Sean Baker. So yeah, this was Oscar number 1 for Anora and Oscar number 1 for Sean Baker of the night. And this movie actually hits Hulu this Friday. I actually have a reason to watch it now. Yeah, I'm gonna see whether this one was deserved or not once it hits Hulu. But yeah, another one I got right. Now we're on to Best Adapted Screenplay. The nominees for Best Adapted Screenplay were A Complete Unknown, James Mangold and Jay Cox, Conclave, Peter Strawn, Amélie Perez, Jacques Audiard, Thomas Badgen, Leah Maisou, and Nicolas Vetki. Totally mispronounced all those names. Nickel Boys, Ramel Ross and Jocelyn Barnes. And Sing Sing, Clint Bentley, Greg Queter, Clarence Macklin, and John Divine G. Whitfield. So we all knew this was going to be Conclave. This was an extremely obvious win. And the Oscar went to Conclave, Peter Strawn. Yeah, this won at the Globes. It won Critics' Choice. It won BAFTA. Couldn't win WGA because it wasn't eligible, but we all knew this was going to win the Oscar. We knew it was obvious. So, yeah. Our next category is Best Makeup and Hairstyling, which was presented by June Squibb and Scarlett Johansson. So, yeah, we're going to see what won this category. The nominees were A Different Man, Amelia Perez, Nosferatu, The Substance, and Wicked. This was another category we knew was locked well before Oscar night. We knew it was going to be The Substance, and the Oscar went to The Substance. Oh my goodness, so surprising. So yeah, The Substance won makeup. Haven't seen the movie, but from the shots I've seen from it, the makeup looks absolutely insane, and it had to win. It had to win. So yeah, Substance won best makeup. All right, now we got to take a little bit of a break from the awards. We got to talk about Halle Berry presenting the Governor's Awards and the James Bond tribute to Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson. And following up with that, with Halle Berry presenting, Halle Berry and Adrian Brody kissed on the red carpet too. So after that, we had a James Bond tribute with Margaret Qualley dancing. We had Lisa, Doja Cat, and Ray singing Live and Let Die, Diamonds Are Forever, and Skyfall, respectively. And I really don't know what the point of this performance was. I mean, it wasn't a bad performance. I mean, it wasn't bad. I mean, they sung the songs well. Particularly, I would say Ray was probably the standout. But, what was the point? I mean, I know all three of them did a song together recently, Born Again, I think it's called. But, I feel like it just kind of added up more time. The performance just added up more time that we could have spent. The ceremony was already super long as is. I think it clocked in at 3 hours and 50 minutes, which is, the longest since, 2018 when The Shape of Water won. So, yeah, I kind of feel like this performance just added up more time that was, it was just not necessary. But it wasn't awful. It was an awful performance. Anyway, let's get back to the awards because next we have Daryl Hannah presenting Best Film Editing. Then this was another category that was kind of ambiguous, kind of. Anyway, the nominees were Anora, The Brutalist, Conclave, Amelia Perez, and Wicked. So yeah, I predicted it would be Conclave. It won the BAFTA. Challengers won Critics' Choice. We don't know what's going to win the Eddie yet for drama or comedy. However, the Oscar went to Anora, which was extremely surprising. I mean, kind of not really, but a little bit surprising. We know it's probably going to win at the Eddies, but I don't really care about the Eddies anymore because the Oscars are over. Yeah, Oscar number 2 for Sean Baker. And I think at this point we knew Anora was winning Best Picture and Conclave was gone because Conclave needed editing to win Best Picture, and it didn't get it. So we kind of knew Anora was going to be the Best Picture winner at that point. So, yeah. Did it actually win Best Picture? We'll see. We'll see. Our next category was Best Supporting Actress presented by Divine Joy Randolph. The nominees were Monica Barbaro in A Complete Unknown, Ariana Grande in Wicked, Felicity Jones in The Brutalist, Isabella Rossellini in Conclave, and Zoe Saldana and Amelia Perez. This was another extremely obvious award. We knew Zoe Saldana was going to win this. She won everywhere. And the Oscar went to Zoe Saldana and Amelia Perez. Both of the supporting categories were complete sweeps this year. They both won everything. They both won the Oscar. And I don't really know. I mean, I loved Ariana Grande's performance in Wicked. But out of the wins that Amelia Perez could have gotten, this is probably the one I'm the least mad with. I still don't think she should have won. I mean, I still think it should have gone to Grande. But I'm not angry at Zoe Saldana winning. Now that Oscar season's over, I don't have to associate her with that shit movie again. So that's good. So yeah. Our next category, best production design, presented by Ben Stiller. So this is another lock category, but then let's go over the nominees. The nominees were The Brutalist, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Nosferatu, and Wicked. And we all knew this was going to be Wicked. And the Oscar went to Wicked. Another one correct. Yeah, Wicked was extremely an obvious production design winner. I knew right away. Like, once the movie became a big contender, like, I knew like it was going to win production design. As soon as it was even like in the conversation to be a best picture movie, I was like, okay, that's just winning production design then. The production design was insane and very well deserved win. So yeah. Our next category is Best Original Song, presented by Mick Jagger. The nominees were El Ma from Amelia Perez, The Journey from the 688, Like a Bird from Sing Sing, Mi Camino from Amelia Perez, and Never Too Late from Elton John, Never Too Late. I think we had a feeling this was going to be El Ma, but there was like some ambiguity. Like, are they actually going to finally give it to Diane Warren? No, they didn't. The Oscar went to El Ma from Amelia Perez. And the Oscar for Worst Speech of the Night goes to El Ma from Amelia Perez. Camille just sang, and it was the most awkward thing in the world. Awful. Absolutely cringeworthy. And the song itself was awful, too. Awful song. Some people, even like it's not one of the worst songs in the movie. It's better than the penis to vagina song. It's better than the one Selena Gomez song, not Mi Camino, the other one. And it's better than like the one where Zoe Saldana is talking to the doctor. It was like, lady. Billy Press has the worst soundtrack in any musical movie of all time. Yeah, I'm all one. Awful win. But this category was kind of weak this year anyway. So, yeah. Our next category, we have the two documentary categories, Best Documentary Short and Best Documentary Feature, presented by Selena Gomez and Samuel L. Jackson. Documentary Short was first. The nominees were Death by Numbers, I Am Ready Warden, Incident, Instruments of a Beating Heart, and The Only Girl in the Orchestra. So I predicted that The Only Girl in the Orchestra would win, but I didn't know because these short categories are never consistent. They never, you just have to take your best guess. And the Oscar went to The Only Girl in the Orchestra. Okay, I got one short category right. I just guessed on this one. And somehow I ended up right. Yeah, the short categories are very unpredictable, but this one was the one I got right. Next, for Best Documentary Feature. That's what I'm talking to say about documentary short. Now we're going to go on to documentary feature. The nominees were Black Box Diaries, No Other Land, Porcelain War, Soundtrack to a Coup d'Etat, and Sugarcane. This category was ambiguous. We didn't know if they would actually pull through for No Other Land, which hadn't really won anything except for the Indie Spirit. Didn't win BAFTA. And there was also the runner-up. People thought the runner-up was Porcelain War because it talked about Ukraine. It won DGA. And the Oscar went to No Other Land. So they did pull through for No Other Land. Excuse me. I didn't see No Other Land, but I'm kind of with the subject matter. I'm kind of glad that they redeemed it, and the team gave a very important speech. Probably the most political speech of the night. So yeah, obviously not everyone's gonna agree with what they said, but yeah, No Other Land. People are gonna be happy it won. People are gonna be pissed that it won. But for me, with the subject matter, it's such an important subject matter that I didn't think the Academy would actually pull through with. I'm kind of glad that they actually did. So yeah. Next, we have our next category is Best Sound. Oh. Wrong tab. I have another tab open with all the nominees. That was the one I'm supposed to scroll instead. All right, so the nominees for Best Sound were A Complete Unknown, Dune Part 2, Amelia Perez, Wicked, and The Wild Robot. This was kind of a toss-up. I mean, some people thought it was going to be Dune 2. Some people thought it was going to be A Complete Unknown. I predicted Dune 2. I thought it was the safer option. But I wouldn't have been surprised if A Complete Unknown pulled the upset. And the Oscar went to Dune Part 2. So another one right. A very well-deserved win. Glad Dune 2 won something, at least. Our next category. Oh, yeah. Wait, did I mention that Miley Cyrus and Miles Teller were the presenters for Best Sound? Yeah. But yeah, Miley Cyrus and Miles Teller presented Best Sound to Dune Part 2. Our next category is Best Visual Effects, presented by Gal Gadot and Rachel Zegler. Would have been funny if Gal Gadot presented Best Documentary, wouldn't it have been? Anyway, our nominees are... Anyway, our nominees are Alien Romulus, Better Man, Dune Part 2, Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, and Wicked. And the Oscar went to Dune Part 2. 2 consecutive wins for Dune. 2. Fantastic win. We all knew it was going to win. I mean, since the movie came out, even before the movie came out, we knew it was going to win, and it did. I feel bad for some of the people who tried to predict Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, but we knew Dune 2 was going to win BAFTA and Oscar. The VES win for Apes didn't matter. So, yeah. I think it's interesting how Rachel Zegler, she presented this category with Jacob Elordi in 2021 when the first Dune won. And then she presented again with Gal Gadot 3 years later when the second Dune won. I think that's kind of interesting. All right, our next category, Best Live Action Short Film, presented by Ana de Armas and Sterling K. Brown. All right, and the nominees were Alien, Anuja, I'm Not a Robot, The Last Ranger, and The Man Who Could Not Remain Silent. So I predicted Alien would win. Seemed very timely because it's like it would be like against ice. Like if it won, it would have been a giant middle finger to ice. It's about like immigration. And the Oscar went to I'm Not a Robot. Interesting win. Another one I had at number 4. Another one I didn't have in my top 3 to win. This ends like my streak of getting live action short. I've even like in the years where I've gotten animated and documentary wrong, I got this one right. And this ends my streak in that category. But yeah, it just shows that like these short films are really just like you have to guess. Last year I got lucky getting all 3 of them right, but this year I only got 1 with documentary short. All right, now we're taking another break from winners. Morgan Freeman presented a tribute to Gene Hackman, which led into the In Memoriam segment, which we're gonna talk about real quick. They performed Mozart during the In Memoriam, and at first the music choice was weird to me. Like it didn't really sound like it fit. However, I've kind of like warmed up to the music recently. Like it wasn't amazing fit. I feel the In Memoriam overall was just pretty like forgettable. Like nothing to write home about. Again, they did the thing where they like have the camera further away from like the text, so it's kind of hard to read. And as usual, they left out a good amount of people. Which they're gonna leave out people every year. But I feel this year they really like went through with like leaving out people. Bernard Hill, Michelle Trachtenberg, Tony Todd was the big one to me that I couldn't believe they left out. Olivia Hussey, Martin Mull, Shannon Doherty, Alain Delon. Yeah, they left out a lot of people. But yeah, In Memoriam, not too great. So yeah. I thought last year's was better, even though they did the same thing with the camera that year. with having it further away. Now we're going to get back to awards. Best Cinematography, which was presented by Joe Alwyn, Dave Bautista, Willem Dafoe, Albert Rohrwacher, and Zoe Saldana. The nominees were The Brutalist, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, Maria, and Nosferatu. So I predicted that it would be The Brutalist. Nosferatu won Critics' Choice and Maria won ASC, but The Brutalist had BSC and BAFTA, and I thought it made the most sense. And the Oscar went to The Brutalist. Surprise, surprise. From the trailers, the cinematography looks absolutely stunning. When the movie hits digital, I'll try to watch it. I think it did hit digital actually, but it's not on streaming yet. But yeah, super long movie, but the shots from like all the trailers look absolutely spectacular. This is a pretty good category. Dune 2, Nosferatu. Some of the shots from that, from what I've seen, look absolutely spectacular. I haven't seen Nosferatu, but I should. I really slacked with movies this year. Last year, I saw all 10 of the Best Picture nominees. This year, I saw 4 of them. So, yeah. Our next category, Best International Feature, presented by Penelope Cruz. The nominees were I'm Still Here from Brazil, The Girl with the Needle from Denmark, Emilia Perez from France, The Sea of the Sacred Fig from Germany, and Flow from Latvia. So it was kind of like a toss-up. Would it be Emilia Perez? Would it be I'm Still Here? I predicted I'm Still Here would do it. So did a lot of other people. And the Oscar went to I'm Still Here, Brazil. I was just glad to see Emilia Perez lose. I was so happy to see Emilia Perez lose in that category. I definitely need to see I'm Still Here. Another one I need to watch. So yeah. That's all I have to say there. I know Brazil was extremely happy to see that win. So yeah. Our next category is Best Original Score, presented by Luke Skywalker himself, Mark Hamill. And the nominees were The Brutalist, Conclave, Emilia Perez, Wicked, and The Wild Robot. So Golden Globe and Critics' Choice both went for Challengers, so they couldn't help us because Challengers wasn't nominated. And then BAFTA went for The Brutalist. So this just felt like an award that you just default with what BAFTA did. And the Oscar went to The Brutalist. Another predictable win for it. Not a surprising one whatsoever. So yeah, pretty much all I have to say. And I've heard some of the tracks on Spotify, and the score sounds phenomenal. So yeah, amazing one. Quickly, we have another tribute to Quincy Jones, which was presented by Whoopi Goldberg and Oprah Winfrey. And Queen Latifah performed Ease on Down the Road from The Wiz. It was a great performance. The audience was like dancing. It was amazing. It was great. Great tribute to like a man who contributed so much to music. They also had a Quincy Jones tribute at the Grammys last month, which was another amazing one. Cynthia Erivo, Herbie Hancock, Stevie Wonder, Janelle Monáe all sung, and they were all amazing. Especially Herbie Hancock on the piano was phenomenal. Cynthia Erivo's vocals phenomenal. Stevie Wonder's rendition of "We Are the World" amazing. But yeah, Queen Latifah also did an amazing job with the Oscars tribute. Anyway, we are down to the Big Four categories. The Big Four. Our first one is Best Actor, presented by Cillian Murphy. And the nominees were Adrien Brody in The Brutalist, Timothée Chalamet in A Complete Unknown, Coleman Domingo in Sing Sing, Ralph Fiennes in Conclave, and Sebastian Stan in The Apprentice. So going into the ceremony, I thought it was going to be Adrien Brody. Some people, Timothée Chalamet did win SAG, but I didn't really think it was. I still thought Brody had the sizable lead over him. And the Oscar went to Adrien Brody in The Brutalist, who has the longest speech in Oscar history at 5 minutes and 40 seconds. Oh my God. All season, he's just been like rambling on stage whenever he wins. But I've heard he's phenomenal in the movie, and he just likes to speak. Maybe like when he presents Best Actor, Best Actress next year, he's gonna give a 5-minute intro. So yeah, Adrian Brody won, gave the longest speech in Oscar history, and that was that. Next up, we have what was probably the most ambiguous category of the night: Best Actress, presented. Oh, I know, Best Directors first. Best Director. Oh my god. Yeah, before we get to Best Actress, we're doing Best Director. Okay. Which was presented by the man himself, the feet lover, Quentin Tarantino. And the nominees were Anora, Sean Baker, The Brutalist, Brady Corbet, Complete Unknown, James Mangold, Emilia Perez, Jacques Audiard, and The Substance, Coralie Frejat. Going to the ceremony, I thought it was going to be Sean Baker, pretty obviously. I know Brady Corbet did win Globe and BAFTA, but DGA, usually whenever there's like crazy races like that, DGA always prevails. John Chu won Critics' Choice, but that couldn't help us. But yeah, DGA is so important. And the Oscar went to Sean Baker, Anora. Woo! Oscar number 3 for Sean Baker, and Oscar number 3 for Anora. Yeah, I'll see soon if this one was deserved or not. But yeah, I knew he was going to win. Some people tried to predict Brady Corbet. I knew it was going to be Sean Baker. I felt once the DGA one happened, I was like, okay, he's winning the Oscar then. All right. So next we have Best Actress, presented by Emma Stone. The nominees were, this is probably the most ambiguous. This was the most ambiguous category of the night. The nominees were Cynthia Erivo in Wicked, Carla Sofia Gascon and Emilia Perez, and she was there. And Conan made jokes about her. Mikey Madison and Anora, Demi Moore in The Substance, and Fernanda Torres, and I'm Still Here. This was a very close race between Mikey Madison and Demi Moore. You could argue Fernanda Torres too. She won at the Globes, but she didn't really compete against anyone there, and she wasn't nominated at SAG or BAFTA. Not even longlisted at BAFTA, and SAG was obviously never going to nominate her. So like it would have been very unprecedented if she won, but I guess not impossible. Yeah, Demi Moore, who won Golden Globe, she won Critics' Choice, she won SAG. She had the big narrative behind her. Meanwhile, you had Mikey Madison, who won BAFTA, and she was in the Best Picture, the movie that we assumed was winning Best Picture. Who was going to prevail? Like, we didn't know. I predicted Mikey Madison. I was close to last minute switching to Demi Moore because last minute switches have never gone in my favor this season. I just decided to stick with my gun and predict Mikey Madison. And the Oscar went to Mikey Madison and Anora. I was glad to get that one right. Yeah, Oscar number 4 for Anora. Anora had a great night. Amazing night. Wait, no, what's the song from Anora? Anora had the greatest day. It had the greatest day at the Oscars. And yeah, Mikey Madison won. I feel kind of sad for Demi Moore because she had the huge narrative, but it didn't pan out. But yeah, Mikey Madison, this is huge for her career. Her career is really gonna blow up after this Oscar win. So yeah. And now we have our final category, Best Picture, presented by Billy Crystal, one of the best Oscar hosts in recent history, and Meg Ryan. So Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan presented, and both from When Harry Met Sally. And the nominees for Best Picture were Anora, The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Emilia Perez, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, and Wicked. At this point, we just knew Anora was taking it. Nothing was going to convince us otherwise. And I predicted Anora would do it. And the Oscar went to, surprise, surprise, Anora. So yeah, Anora won Best Picture. I'll see if that was well-deserved soon. But from what I've heard from most people, it was deserved. So yeah. Aside from the Emilia Perez wins, most of the wins seem like they're actually pretty deserved. Conan killed it. I thought this ceremony was pretty good, actually. Conan killed it. Most of the wins were good. I thought the James Bond performance was unnecessary. The In Memoriam wasn't that great. And the Emilia Perez wins really shouldn't have gone to Emilia Perez, but we knew it was going to be Emilia Perez winning those two. But at least they lost their national feature. That's all I can say. with next award season, I'm not gonna be predicting right away. I'm already seeing some people starting to predict. I'm like, I have to wait. I need a break. I mean, it's like once one season ends, the next one begins. But like, I need like a break. Maybe anywhere in between late March and late April, I'll probably like try to get my predictions formed, and maybe I'll do another live stream going over them. I mean, I wasn't really active until like Golden Globe nominations last award season, so maybe this award season I could try to be more active. But I'm also gonna be like going to like college and stuff, so it's probably gonna be harder. So yeah, we'll see. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching this live stream. Please like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.